This lesson, I'm going to show you how you can add a button to your web page. When it's clicked, it will change the background color, and then when it's clicked again, it will change it back to the original color, which in this case was white. And this is the code that we're going to be going through in this lesson. This lesson, we're going to be changing the background color of our web page. So we've got a basic default style sheet, got the JavaScript file, currently it's blank. I've named the JavaScript file to change background color JS, link to it from the HTML. So it's just a basic HTML structure. I've also linked out to the style sheet. So what we want to do is we want to add a button in the main section. So let's go ahead and we're going to add that into the About Us section. And this is going to be a button. Whenever it gets clicked, what's going to happen is it's going to change the color. So give the button an ID so that we can identify it. I'll just call it BTN1, and it will say change background color. So add that in. So there's our button that's showing up. So now we can go into our JavaScript code. And what we want to do is we want to select the button object. So first we're going to be using document and query selector in order to select the element with a button. And we've given the button an ID of button1, so we're going to have to select that via the ID. So button1, and this is going to select the element object. You can see that when you go into the console, and we can just make sure that we selected the button element. So refresh the page, open up the inspect, and I'm going to bring the inspect down to the bottom. So there's a number of areas you can dock it. So my preference is usually I dock it at the bottom, go into the console area. And this is where we've got the content, where we've got the button, and we've selected the button element here. And this is the output from the JavaScript code. I'll make that a little bit bigger as well, so it's a little bit easier to see. And we'll refresh it again. So there's our button element. So we've selected the button element properly, and now we want to add an event listener to the button. So we select the button object, and we're going to use the method add event listener. The event that we're listening for is going to be a click event. Whenever the button gets clicked, we're going to run a function, and within this function, what we want to do is we want to select the background of the document. So selecting the document and body of the element, style, and then update the style property of background color. And then we can set that to red. So let's see what happens. So when we click it, it goes red. And we can also do a toggling so that we can check to see what the background color is. And if it's already red, we can change it to a different color. So let's select that again, where we can do a condition here. And we'll check to see if the document background color is equal to red. And what I'll do is I'll set this into a property so that it's a little bit easier to read. We've got the background color. So set a value for background color, and this will allow us to remove out this object where we've got the style object. And just to test it out, just make sure that it's still working properly. We can have the condition now where we're checking to see. So if it's red, then we can change it back to white. And if it's a different color, then we'll change it to red. So just save that. And now we've got the ability to toggle it to red and white. And you can also update the colors as needed. So this is a quick way that you can add a way to change the background color to your page element.